So as we know, I am an author and I just finished my draft for my next book. So yeah, it's been a minute. I had planned to have this done at just so much sooner in the year. So my last end of draft one was like, I think February? So it's been a minute. But this year was a little chaos and I ended up finally doing it now. So this is Turning the Wheel. This is my sequel to, I actually have a copy right here. Bam! This one, Path of a Witch. This is my foundational training witchcraft book, and now I have year 2 done. And if you couldn't guess, year 2 is going to be about the Wheel of the Year, and it's my take on it because I don't do the traditional thing. The first book was as close to traditional as I do. From here on out, it's just chaos of what I do because I don't do traditional things. Like I managed to take the Wheel of the Year and kinda remove the agricultural side of it because it doesn't apply. Again, congratulations to the UK where Imbolc is your start of spring. That is not Utah. Not even like a little bit. And, you know, where it's like, we're gonna start our seeds at Ostara, and you're like, yeah, but snow. Like, and like, when it's like, oh, but it's the fruit harvest in September into October, and you're like, what are you talking about? No. Like, my fruit that we've ever had ever, when my grandma had her garden, and my own, I have a fruit tree. Do you know when that harvest is? Now. Like, this time of year is when it harvestings. Yeah, usually the birds win, honestly, because I just don't actually care. Like, if I get them, cool. If not, whatever, you know? I don't care that much. And so, like, it's not autumn. Autumn time, everything's dead, pretty much. We've had our wildfires, and it's just drought constantly, because again, desert, and you're just in this wait mode for winter by that point. It's not fruits and things and, like, who wants to do a lot of baking in August? It's 100 degrees outside. No, I don't want my oven on more than it has to be. Like, those things just don't line up to where I live. And then, of course, as I was doing this and I'm thinking and planning, I'm in the outlining phases for the next book, which is about the moon, I've realized the Wheel of the Year is for the god. If you go with traditional Wicca and most witchcraft practices, the Wheel of the Year is for the god. The goddess is just this background story, kinda. She's the supporting character. She is not the main character. It's about the god. It's his birth, his childhood, his adolescence, his marriage / just hooking up, getting someone pregnant, being a king, getting sick, dying, and then being reborn. That's the Wheel of the Year. And I didn't love that, and I never have, and I thought it was so stupid, because the goddess also gets gypped out of that. She doesn't get a full cycle, because like when she's supposed to be a crone, she's also pregnant. That doesn't work. That's not how menopause happens. And then, like, she never gets to be reborn. She just is pregnant and then giving birth, and then suddenly she's serving the god as a mother and then as a lover, and then she's like at his bedside as he's dying while pregnant. Like, that's all her purpose is just to be an incubator and to be a thing for the god. And I just hated it. I hated it so much. And I'm like, there's gotta be a different way. And so over the years, as we have seen if you've been here for a long time, because I've ran this channel since 2011, so it's been a while, I have tinkered with the Wheel of the Year and how I view it. And I've had notes everywhere for so long. This book was the fix-it, because the next one is going to be looking at the moon, which obviously, that was the other thing I struggled with for years, was that the balance wasn't there. That the god has the whole year, the goddess has the moon, but like, you celebrate the moon more frequently than the Wheel of the Year. And the introduction series does not include any deity work really. The most is like one section in Path of a Witch, because that's part of the foundational work. But other than that, no deities really at all. And I love that, because like, I feel like it's totally a thing where you can have separations within your craft, and that's not a thing for a lot of books. So the next one is going to be for the moon, cycles of the moon, And again, it's a book I need because I write rituals at random when I feel like it, but I never have a concise spot. I write these books for me. When I had a death that I had to deal with, you know what I did? I walked over here and I was like, cool, my promo book, on it. Also, because I'm the author, I have the e-version of it easily available when I need to look something up when I'm out and about, you know, states away. This, awesome. I've needed it many a times. It is a great, I mean, I am a little biased, but I feel like it's a good resource. Because again, I don't want to have to think about it. When I'm going through death, I just grab that and I go, what section do I need? And I did that, like, when I was like, what the hell do I do when I go to visit the graves? Because I have my vague ideas, and then I went to write it down again, and I was like, oh yeah, I can just look in there. And then I'm like, wow, I actually do know how to write words. And it was great. And so, like, I want that for the Wheel of the Year, which I have done. So every one of the Sabbats has, well, all but one, has 3 themes to it. So like for Samhain, for instance, we have the ancestors, hence that book. And then we have fears, and then we have the Witch's New Year. 3 themes. Is it like agricultural? No. Is it supposed to be the final harvest? And I just realized I didn't mention that in it. Yep. I'm gonna make a note real quick, because oopsies. Anyways, so that's the choice of draft 1 is I have so many side notes of like, I gotta add this, and I gotta add this, and I gotta add this, and I should add this, but I need to read through it as a full, and then start diving into each chapter and being like, how do I fix this? What do I need to add? Because there's things that I'm like, I feel like I need to make that more prominent at the beginning of like, we're not going through the history of it. I don't care. Like, like, that was one of the books I was trying to read this morning, was a book that I DNF'd it. It was rough. I talked about it on Instagram, but like, if you want to follow me, it's just my same name, Night Willow Crafts. So easy. But like, it was going through the history, and I'm like, I genuinely, I don't care. And like, when I read specifically for the Wheel of the Year, I don't care. I don't care that trick-or-treating initially came from souling, because it's not the same thing. Like, it's really not at all in the slightest. If you look at it, very much cultural context between the two, very different. It is sort of inspired from the past, but like, not really. Like, it is so different. And of course, Halloween is different. That's one that's on my mind because that's what I wrote today. But like, it's so different even here compared to other places. Like, kind of America is like the home of Halloween. Like, everywhere else kind of does it, but like, apparently, from what I've heard across the globe, we do it the most. Like, we are all about the Halloween. We have so much going on with it that other places just don't do. And so like, why do we need to talk about how it originated like hundreds of years ago, kind of ish? Like, I don't care. And instead, like, let's talk about it in a modern context. We wear costumes. Sure, they might have had different significance in the past, but I don't care. Like, most people aren't going to be like, if you want to be a history buff, awesome. The books already do that. I just don't feel like I needed to add it. So instead it was like, let's look at it in the now context of like current reality, where we're at. Let's look at it now. And same with the other ones as well. Like, the Witch's Thanksgiving, obviously, is gonna be different than like the first Thanksgiving. It's very different, obviously, because like, things change. But like, you know, there's so much for these books that like, it's been said 1,000 times. So I'm hoping my unique take is going to be inspiring for people to make your own Wheel of the Year to work for you, and not like feel like you have to do things just because a book tells you to. And again, like, it's just overly saturated. The amount of Wheel of the Year books that say the exact same thing, mine at least doesn't do that. We're all over the place. Because again, if you remove the agricultural side of things, really, and you remove the story of the god throughout it, it's different, right? So I hope that when this book comes out, hopefully next month in July, that you will consider buying it. If you bought my first book, thank you so much. It really does mean the world to me. Every time I get a book sale, I do have a bit of like little celebration, because it doesn't happen terribly often. So when it does, it is a huge deal to me. And like, If you can't afford my books, that's totally fine. I do plan around Yule to do a giving back to my community. So as an FYI, a little sneak preview into the future, during the 13 days of Yule, I will be having my audiobook for Path of the Witch for free available for those 13 days. If you want to listen to the book instead of having a copy of it, you can listen to it for those 13 days, because like a lot of people have time off of work and away from, you know, like you're just trying to escape from reality because it's a lot of stress. So I'm planning to do that every Yule as like a giving back to the community. And so I'm gonna have too many books to put them all available, but I'm planning one a year at least, because like the rest of the year I have Witchcraft books planned. Like I have a list over there of, because those are the ones that are selling, so like as an author that makes sense, because like this is my job. So yeah, I have like 7 more Witchcraft books that I'm gonna be writing this year. So I have a lot of them coming. But yeah, I'm planning that as my way to give back. So if you want to listen to Path of a Witch, it will be available for 13 days around Yule. And then it goes back into the vault of Patreon. So, and then you have to wait. I don't know when it'll come back out, but you could also just join Patreon and just have it there. So anyways, that is my next book. I hope you will consider getting it, and if you want to get my first one, Path of a Witch, which is my introductory, like, foundational work as a witch, it will be always linked down below, as well as my other one, The Death Journey, if you are going through a death. That book walks you through it. It has the practical stuff as well as the magical stuff, because oftentimes we forget the other details. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm slowly contemplating the next one, which is going to be The Witchy Wedding, of like the not part of this core 3 books. And it's like, there's so many details. Like, all of these books, they only focus on the one ritual part of it. Same with The Wheel of the Year. We only focus on the ritual for like the day. It's like a whole season, dude. Why are we not talking about what you're supposed to do for the whole season? Anyways, I like my methods, but also that's how I do witchcraft. So I hope that you will consider reading them and it will inspire you. So anyways, thank you so much for coming along for this rambly video. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive content such as the audiobooks, my audiobook is up on Patreon on my, I think it's the 3rd tier. It's over there. You can find it. It's pretty easy. Also, I have different book talks every week that I only post over there, and then I am also working through Shadow Temple of Witchcraft. It's supposed to be shamanic. I beg to differ. It is Shadow. So, anywho, until next time, thank you so much for watching, for supporting here. Every like, comment, and things, it helps immensely. Just a watch through. It helps more than you think, actually. So if you made it to the very end, thank you. You should comment something really silly, like, what was the last pumpkin that you carved? Then I know that you got to the end. And yeah, till next time, bless be.